Hey, fantasy football friends. So we are going into week 13 of the NFL season, which means everyone is preparing for those fantasy playoffs. So this is your Waiver Wire Weekly preparing you for those playoffs. It's going to tell you who to trust and who's going to be a bust. Your Waiver Wire Weekly brought to you by Stronghold Financial because like a Pro Bowl offensive line, Stronghold Financial is protecting you against life's risks, just like I am protecting you against making the wrong waiver wire choice. So let's get to our trust this week. Our trust, I've got two great wide receivers for you. Now, wide receivers are come and go, right? You got to get the ones that are having good matchups coming up, and that's what I've got for you right now. Now, the first one is Chris Conley. Chris Conley is a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the last time we heard from Chris Conley, he was catching 7 passes for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. No big deal, right? But of course, that was in that big blowout game with the Rams. Now, can we expect that kind of consistency from him all the time? No, but we can expect a lot of targets because this is, again, one of those high-powered offenses that we look for and that we target when we're looking for somebody on the waiver wire. So Sammy Watkins, when he comes back, is probably not going to get as much looks for Conley as we'd like, but for the next couple of weeks, which is what we need him for, we will see those out of him. So Chris Conley is somebody that you can trust. Another one that I really love, and I'm happy I get to say his name again, not only because it's fun to say, but also because I really like this guy a lot. And he's been kind of quiet under the rookie there, Sam Darnold. But it's Quincy Enunwa. Now, Enunwa was big last year. He was a hot waiver wire ad because of all the targets he got from Josh McCown. Guess what? Guess who's back? Josh McCown is back for at least the foreseeable future right there. So now the Titans, he goes up against the Titans this week, and they've allowed 7 touchdowns to opposing wideouts across their last 4 games. So this is going to be great for that. Now, Adoree Jackson's going to be trying to keep up with Robbie Anderson, so it's going to leave Enunwa open against the very burnable Malcolm Butler for that next game against the Titans coming up. So I really like Quincy Enunwa, and so does Josh McCown, so I expect the targets to be up there for as long as Josh McCown is in, as well as some great production out of Enunwa. So I'm really happy to have Enunwa back as my trust. Now let's move on to our busts. I've got 2 busts for you this week. One is a wide receiver, and one is a running back. Big running back add to the waiver this week is going to be Rex Burkhead. And it's only because we remember what Rex Burkhead did last year. He was a great add last year, and he scored touchdowns. Here's the problem this year is that now they've got Sony Michel in there also scoring touchdowns, and James White also scoring touchdowns. So what's going to be left for our little friend Rex Burkhead? My guess is not a whole heck of a lot. Could he get some goal line carries here and there? Yes, but I don't think the consistency is going to be there enough. Now, if Sony Michel does get hurt again, his value changes. But for right now, Rex Burkhead, for me, is a bust. The other bust that I have, and it's hard to say that he's a bust because the Chicago Bears are really rolling right now. They've got a lot going on, but Trubisky's out. But it's going to be Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller still up high on that waiver wire of people wanting to add him. But you know what? He's averaging 2.9 catches per game and has only once cleared 50 receiving yards. That's not enough for me. I don't think it's enough for you guys. You know what? He's had a couple of touchdowns that's fueled his success, but a receiver hasn't scored a touchdown against the Giants in 3 of their last 4 games, and that's who the Bears are going to see next. So, and now that Chase Daniels is under center there in Chicago, and until we see Trubisky come back, he's only targeted Miller 4 times since he's been the QB there. So for me, Anthony Miller right now, bust unless Trubisky comes back, and then you can think about adding him. But I think there are much better options like the other 2 wide receivers I gave you. So that's it for this week's Waiver Wire Weekly. If you have any questions, of course, you can always ask those down below, whether they be waiver questions or start-sit questions. Also, don't forget to listen in every Thursday on the Daily Blender and on Pure Sports with Jeff Bloom. I'm on those radio shows each week. Those links are down below. And of course, don't forget DraftKings The Sweat, Sunday mornings right up until game time. That link is down below as well. And follow me on Twitter at Rosalie Michaels, where I'm happy to answer any start-sit questions or waiver wire questions. So that's it for this week. Until next week.